அது உருப்படியா போகணுமா? கையில துண்டு அப்படியே போட்டுருப்பேன். பஸ்ல ஏற வேண்டியது, டோல்ல ஸ்நாக்ஸை வாங்கி துண்ண வேண்டியது, துண்டு அப்படியே போட வேண்டியது. பாதி பவன்ட்டோம். கசக்கிற பாட்டில டஸ்ட்பின்ல போடாம அப்படியே போட்டா போனியம்மா, நான் கண்டக்டரா இல்ல கிளீனரானே தெரியலையே. சாமி ஜி, இத வர ஜி.
என் பேரு பொன்னி.
நான் grown up பொன்னி.
நான் தான் இந்த கதையில வர ப்ரோட்டாகனிஸ்ட்.
ஆனா அப்புறம் தான் வருவேன்.
கதையில வர பேய் நான் இல்ல.
இதை ஏன் சொல்றேன்னா, கதை மர்ம கதைன்னு டைரக்டர் சொல்ல சொன்னாரு.
அப்புறம் பார்க்கலாம்.
Auto! இந்த நேரத்துல, இந்த டெட் ஆஃப் த நைட், கொட்டி தீர்த்து ஓஞ்சிருக்கிற மழையில எப்போ ஓலா கிடைச்சு எப்போ வீட்டுக்கு போய். Uber has already cancelled twice. One driver routed to another. That fellow also cancelled it. Goinda தான் tonight. Goinda, Goinda. ஊர்லேருந்து கோயம்புத்தூர்லேருந்து வந்து கோயம்பேட்டில் இறங்கியிருக்கேன். கொற்ற மழையில் சிஎம்பிடியில் நிற்கிறேன். It started with an SMS from Amma. Dad unwell, urgent, come at once, avasram. I got down from the bus in the pouring rain. The rains are on a small break. Myself, Balasubramaniam. My friends call me Bals. I work in Kovai. Amma's SMS. Appa's health is ailing. Come at once. Avasram. I shut my laptop halfway through work on a working Saturday afternoon. Rushed to Gandhipuram. Jumped on the footboard of a bus and which spewed dust in its wake.
Yo! அறிவில்ல என்ன வீட்டுல சொல்லிட்டு வந்துட்டியா? ஓடுற பஸ்ல அப்படியே தாவினீங்க. மனசுல ஈரம் நினைப்பு. போவா போய் உட்கார் போ.
Got abused in Chennai, Tamil in Coimbatore. Skedaddled through the island and tripped on the toes of a lady passenger in the last but one row. Apologized to her without noticing whether she was young or old. sank into my seat above the motor, which jerked one up every third minute. And then promptly went into my exhausted reverie. It was at Bodempudi, I think. Could have been Karmadhampatti also. Only when I reached thereabouts did I calm down, open my eyes. That's when I noticed I was in the corner seat.
Excuse me, if you don't mind, and the window shutter, could you bring it down?
I turned. She smiled. I froze. So magnetic. Not quite fair complexion, but such elegance and attractiveness. She wasn't extremely beautiful or glamorous, but such inexplicable grace. Magnetic. There are some, even in the skimpiest of outfits, you don't feel sexed or vulgarly exposed in their presence. This was like that. Except the person next to me is fully clothed in a sari and blouse with just the right amount of makeup, conspicuous by its minimalism. There was a graceful smile ever present at the edges of her lips, waiting undecidedly whether to stay or exit. I got reminded of Barry's description of Wendy from Peter Pan. She looked incapable of anger. Not at all. No problem. Chullu vaangichenu vechukongala. I thanked the gust of wind that broke my meditation, brought me back to reality, to act. It was cold outside, a mild pitter-patter. It was starting to get dark. I closed the window. The canopied darkness of the highway was undisturbed, except for the two front lights of the bus tearing through it. Onwards, non-stop express journey from here on. PM. Already dark thanks to the canopy highway. By the time I reach destination, it will be around 11:30, and then catching an Ola and Uber 12:30 if I'm lucky. My stomach started making noises. I tried to calm it down. In about 2 or 3 hours time, the driver might stop for an early break for tea. Avarikaga. So passengers can catch some respite, tea, coffee, bio break. Usually these Mofessel buses stop at Ulundurpet or Tindivanam. But that's 5 hours away. And again, it depends on which transit port these drivers prefer their free barotas. I took my distillery from my rucksack. Took a couple of careful swigs, not spilling the water in the shape of the bus and not hurting my teeth. Then replacing it, I wore my headphones, converted my phone into a Walkman, and went into my dream world making the person next to me into Simran, Disha, Nayantara. While I was there, Karan, Parthiban, Ramki. I'm an average guy next door. I can only aspire to be what I imagine. Kamal, Ajit level எல்லாம் நினைச்சதே இல்லை. வெள்ளை கேட்ட வீக்கம். I drifted off to sleep.
எப்பா நத்தக்கர டோலு டீ காஃபி டிஃபன் கிஃபன் சாப்பிடணும்னா இப்போ இறங்குங்க 20 மினிட்ஸ் தான் ஆல்ட்டு சரியா? பஸ் ஆட்டோ கிட்ட தூங்க வேண்டியது, கிளம்புற சமயத்துல இறங்கி முன்னுக்கு போக வேண்டியது.
அவ என்ன பார்த்தா நான் அவளை பார்த்தேன். அப்புறம் கண்ணும் கண்ணும்
Standing next to me with a cup in hand. I smelled the coffee, literally.
You drink up.
With a grateful smile, I took it. Felt a cheap little adolescent thrill of touching her fingers. Finishing the cup. I looked up. She was already going down the stairs. I realized my pangs of prostate. So I decided to go down the half-lit dullness of the bus. I went to the annoyed conductor and raised my little finger.
அதான் சொன்னேனே, பஸ் ஆட்டோ கிட்ட தூங்க வேண்டியது, கிளம்புற சமயத்துக்கு ஒண்ணுக்கு போக வேண்டியது.
I rushed behind the Baroda shop, not wanting to use the Surul Pei toilet facility. Faster this way. Finding a little hidden area under the bushes, I relieved myself. then went to use the Surul Pei hand wash facility. That's when I noticed the driver was stubbing the end of the cigarette and the conductor was talking on the phone.
அண்ணே நத்த கரெக்டாக இல்லைண்ணே உளுந்தூர் செங்குறிச்சி தான் சொன்னேன். ஜி தான் எங்க வண்டியை நிப்பாட்ட போகல ஜி. அப்படியா? சரி ரூட்டை உடச்சிக்கலாம். ஆமாண்ணே, என்ன கூட்டு ரோடு கடலூர் மேட்டுப்பாளையம் ரூட்டு விருத்தாச்சலம் கடலூர் தானே? ஆங்க கடலூர் பைபாஸ் தானே, நாட் பாசிபிள்ண்ணே, சான்ஸே இல்லை. ஆமாண்ணே, 6 விழுப்புரம் 4 விக்ரவாண்டி இருக்கு. ரைட்டு, பன்ருட்டி பிடிச்சி விழுப்புரம் வந்துக்கலாம். என்ன ஒரு 1 hour ஆகும். சரிண்ணே, ரைட்ண்ணே, ஓகேண்ணே.
யோ கிளம்புணுப்பா. இப்போ என்ன போனு?
ஜி, உளுந்தூர்பேட்டில் ஏதோ கார்பரேஷன் இருக்கான், ரோட்டை தோண்டி போட்டு வச்சிருக்கானுங்க போல. அதான் கல்லூர் பாண்டி ஈஸியானா டைவர்ட் பண்ண சொன்னாரு. ரொம்ப லாங்கு, விழுப்புரம் டிக்கெட் வேற இருக்குன்னு பன்ருட்டி வழியா விழுப்புரத்தை பிடிச்சி போட்டுறாரு.
சன்னியா பன்ருட்டி ரூட்டா? ஒஸ்ட்ப்பா இந்த விருதாச்சலம் ரோடு.
ஜி, விருதாச்சலம் ஜி, விச்சங்க ரூட் போய் தான் நானும் பெட்டர் தென் வாலாஜா ரூட்டு. கசுமாலம், குண்டு குழி, பிரசவத்துக்கு இலவசம்னா அந்த ரூட்டு தான். போன மாசம் கூட ஒரு லேடிஸ் கேப் பர்த் ட்வின்ஸ் ட்ராக்லயே.
யோ கடிதம் இல்லையா? என் கஷ்டத்துல உனக்கு மஜமா, ரணகலத்திலே ஒரு குதூகலமா.
ஐயோ ஜி, ரணகலத்துல குதூகலமா
ஏதோ ஒண்ணு. ஏய் ஏய், இங்கயா போனா இந்த ஒண்ணுக்கு பாட்டி கூட போய்.
ஜி, நீங்க வண்டி எடுங்க ஜி.
யோ எங்க
யோ வண்டி காலமா போகுதுங்க, வந்து சேர்க்கோ.
I got in weaving and stumbling through the aisle. Tripped on some kunguma puttu gounder, and then in trying to avoid falling into the big bosom of the big lady with the big pitti, I fell down. My buttocks landed on a thorny jackfruit. Everybody laughed. I was down in the dark. What curse Rao Galam did I board this bus? Why didn't I choose the one which went the Vellore Krishnagiri route? I wasn't expecting to see anything else but pairs of legs all around me in the thin, dark, bluish light of the bus. But I couldn't figure anything. In fact, I couldn't even hear the noise of the engine. Low, 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 low. But I could feel the vibration of a running bus on a highway as I was down on the floor. It was pitch dark. All the lights were out, except for the little blue LED on top of the picture behind the driver's seat that cast a redemptive glow. Even as it was casting a glow, it protested as though it had no business being lit in this darkness. I couldn't see any legs. I couldn't see any legs. I waved my hands around to find the jackfruit that had made me a laughing stock. It must have rolled down the aisle. I chided myself for my carelessness and tried getting up, looking for the nearest vertical support rod. But I could only see his vacuum. My heart started palpitating. My chest started feeling heavy. It felt as though I had a handful of chilies and water. It felt as though I was on a dark and desolate highway to nowhere, on a strange winged vehicle. As if on cue, would everyone sleep at the same time? At 8:30 p.m.? After a robust intake of coffee or tea? Confusion, doubt, fear. I could feel the fear in the pit of my stomach. Then it dawned on me. I have my phone. There's a torch in it. I put my hands into my pocket. I couldn't find it. Did I leave it on my seat next to my headphones? I remembered that. But in all this vacuum, no point in trying to use the floor to get up. I remember the yoga that I was unwillingly taught in school. Using a technique. Hands around your stomach. Get up without any support. I tried getting up. What? Fail. Two. Half success. Three. Success. முயற்சி உடையார் தரையில் விழார். Exhausted by the effort, that's when I noticed. She alone glowed in the dark. The glow of her orange sun. My God's angel. Just like the two fluorescent hands of a clock. Gathering myself. Returning to normal breathing. I felt something prodding in my right hand pocket. My phone! I took it out, switched on the light, and started swishing. My fear came back. I was reminded of the hurt in my anus from the jackfruit episode earlier. Then it all came back to me. The evil laughter, the hollowness of timber, the hollow symphony of 1,000 laughters from a deep well. My fear started climbing like the 3rd-degree cyclone alert by the Met Bureau. I stood still, erect. Turning my eyes only 90 to the right and 90 to the left. I looked straight ahead. Everyone was seated, lifeless, erect, with no teeth, no lips, looking straight ahead into the void. They had only a half circle for a mouth. And they had no pupils. Where is this monster headed? Why is this happening to me alone? Is it headed towards death? Whose death? Mine? Or my next seat? Swapna Sundari. It is said love is blind. Has my love blinded all my co-passengers? They say when in love, teeth, eyes, ears, brains, nothing matters. Nothing exists. I'm a prime example of that. In the midst of all this, instead of worrying about my survival, I'm worried about the safety of some strange package of makeup, lipstick and orange sari. My adolescent idiocy I mistook for love overrode my desperation for survival. Silly me. The laughter. I'm spooked. I felt a cold moisture running through my body. Sweat broke in me. Suddenly, I felt a soft cotton fold on my right wrist. I was too scared to turn. I prayed to God. Slowly, slowly, I opened my right eye, and then my left eye, and then both. I looked straight ahead. The straitjacket back of the driver, intent on revving the bus beyond its capacity, met my gaze. At that velocity, he could have gone past Sriharikota. Bus nagarida. Ellame Brahmaya. Is it my imagination? On one side, the soft cotton hold felt comfortable. On the other side, my fear went to extreme fright. Is this how I'm going to die? At 32, a virgin still, footboarding myself to my fatal destiny in some uncharted, unmapped outback in a bus. I decided with a resolve. I will not die without finding the mystery of the soft cotton hole. I turned. I sat down like a child mesmerized. Unaware, I was listening to the strange purr of the bus. And suddenly, the silent TV screen inside the bus came to life. My dear Lisa, my first. Then Andrea, Tisha, and Hansula and Anjali. And rolling back, Thatha in Iron Janmangal. Rolling back 50 years, back to black. Jayalalitha in Yaad Me. I felt the strange, transparent pallu of Jayalalitha's sari on my face. I tried to remove the pallu of my face. Something hindered me. The elbow of my orange neighbor. She was holding the headrest of the seat in front. So my elbow didn't damage her face. Wait a minute. Wasn't I sitting by the other side? Isn't that where all this started?
Don't talk. Just another 35 minutes and all this will be over.
Why?
He froze. I have put him on a temporary state of hypnosis. It's not a sleep. நான் இவரை கொஞ்சம் மனோதத்துவ முறையில தூங்குற மாதிரி வச்சிருக்கேன். You don't actually put a person to sleep by hypnosis. It's a state of temporary awakeness without any tension. Why? சொல்றேன். இப்போ இந்த பஸ் போயிட்டு இருக்கிற பகுதி ஒரு bewitched செக்ஷன்னு சொல்றாங்க. Strange things happen. அதுவும் இந்த நேரத்துல. It doesn't happen to everybody. Only to a particular type and age group of people. இந்த பகுதி மக்கள் இத சுருள் பேய் சாலைன்னு சொல்றாங்க. ஆனா இதை நிரூபிக்க முடியாது. You can't prove what's beyond the normal. இந்த மாதிரி அமானுஷ்யங்களை you can't prove them. It's the interstellar between nature and science. இயற்கைக்கும் நேச்சருக்கும் அப்பாற்பட்டது. It's the irrational. It's the irrational. நான் யாருன்னு கேட்குறீங்களா? இப்போ என்னை பற்றி சொல்லணும்னா I'm a psychiatrist. குறிப்பா சொல்லணும்னா I deal with psychosociological study and research. இந்த மாதிரி phenomena எல்லாம் observe பண்ணி மனுஷங்க மனசை worry பண்ற irrational fears disprove செஞ்சு என்னால முடிஞ்ச அளவுக்கு அவங்க ப்ராப்ளம்ஸை சால்வ் பண்ணுறாங்க. இங்க இப்போ I only observe all this. இங்க நடக்கிறதுக்கு எல்லாம் நான் வந்து பேக்ரவுண்ட் மட்டும் தான் கொடுப்பேன். மேற்கொண்டு what needs to be done is not in my hands. This is my 6th trip on this route in this month alone. And each time the bus has taken a detour and there are different reasons for this. ஒரு வாட்டி ஒரு பயங்கரமான மரம் இருந்துச்சு, இன்னொரு வாட்டி ஒரு பெரிய ஆக்சிடென்ட். இப்படி ஏதாவது இப்படி இது எப்படி முடியும்? How could this be solved? Or could it be solved? எனக்கு தெரியாது. என்னோட வேலை இங்க நடக்கிற ஈவெண்ட்ஸை அப்சர்வ் பண்ணி ஒரு பேக்ரவுண்ட் கொடுக்கணும். மேற்கொண்டு what needs to be done not in my hands. ஆனா அவங்க எனக்கு ஃபோன் செஞ்சு சொன்ன இங்க நடக்கிற ஈவெண்ட்ஸ்க்கு இப்போ நான் ஒரு பேக்ரவுண்ட் கொடுக்க போறேன். I'm going to describe it to you. It's something that happened in her life long ago and again recently. Now, whether these two events are connected, தெரியாது, நம்பவும் முடியாது. ஆனா ட்ரை பண்ணுங்க. இப்போ நான் அதை உங்க மனக்கண் முன்னாடி ப்ளே பண்ண போறேன். So, relax. Close your eyes. உங்க கண் மூடி மனசு ஃப்ரீயா விடுங்க. Close your eyes. 3, 2, 1.
It's searing hot. Temperatures climbing back to the mid-30s. It's hard to believe that just a few days back, the floods were taking a heavy toll of people, places, cities, towns, and little unknown villages. A swirl of dust gathers around my boots. I stay rooted, somehow not inclined to disturb that thin coat of dust forming on my polished black boots. After a while, the swirl has decided that it has had enough and lets go of the shoes, but moving in a twisty little spiral, gathering force as it reels away. இதுதான் இந்த பகுதி மக்கள் சுருள் பேய்னு சொல்றாங்க. இது ஒரு மோகினி இல்ல ஆசைகள் நிறைவேறதுக்கு முன்னாடி இறந்து போன பெண்ணு நம்புறாங்க. Women who died prematurely with incomplete desires or ambitions, they take the form of twister swirls in open fields or long tree canopied roads. நடு ராத்திரியில இல்ல நடு பகல்ல. They never reveal themselves as women. It's just afternoon. I start following the twister ghost, first with my eyes and then involuntarily walking behind it. When I see where it has brought me, I see it has vanished. A perpendicular, half-broken mud wall stands that is ragged and jagged on its top. Is it lucky to have survived the deluge the weeks before? Or is it unlucky to have survived while what remained has gone? Did anyone live there? No. I should know. This used to be my little hut. My house that I remember. My home that I cherish fondly. It's spooky how cannily the twisted ghost has led me here. இங்க வரணும் தான் இருந்தேன் ஆனா இப்போ இல்ல அப்புறமா. At 24, one of the youngest IPS officers of the state now, I grew up here in this town that exists only on the map. That was until I was 13. I was then adopted when my grandfather, my only relative, died, leaving me an orphan. A 13-year-old girl, a little girl whose only earthly possessions were memories of her reasonably wealthy parents, who got washed away in the tsunami of 2004 from the nearby town of Kadalur. It's a district that's most prone to floods, storms, cyclones, and in general the changing weather patterns in Tamil Nadu. அப்ப எனக்கு ஒரு 4 வயசு இருக்கும். Too young to realize the horrors of being orphaned. But I had my grandfather, miraculously. He later told me that when the waters had washed away everything, including my parents, he had tied himself to a pillar of a temple nearby with me fastened to him with his Angavastram. We had survived by the divine intervention of Goddess Kali, normally considered the destroyer. It was the year 2004.
நான் 4 வயசு இருக்கும்போது தாத்தாவும் நானும் we moved to a little hamlet, wanting to get away as far as possible from our sad memories. He had nothing to start his life and a 4-year-old granddaughter. Perana irundha, it would have been different. An old man with a little girl to look after. I do not remember much of my childhood, except I'd watch him carry me around for 2 years. ஒரு 50 வயசு இருக்கும். Strong but burdened by the sudden turn of events that reduced our family from well-to-do to mere nothings overnight. Thank you, Tsunami.
My clearest memory of my grandfather was him walking into a wealthy businessman's house and coming back with the job of rolling tandoori's. He got himself a cottage job of making beedies for the nearby factory. அப்போ எனக்கு ஒரு 6 வயசு இருக்கும். 2006ல
We would walk 3 miles. என்ன தோல்ல தூக்கி வச்சிருப்பாரு whenever he knew I was tired. Catch another bus and reach another 5 miles. என்ன கவர்மெண்ட் ஸ்கூல்ல விட்டுடுவாரு, நான் அங்கேயே சாப்பிடுவேன் படிப்பேன். Initially, the schooling was more for my midday meals. But once he realized that I showed interest in schooling, and when my teacher told how important it is for a girl child to study, especially one like me, he let me continue. ஒரு 3 வருஷத்துல he managed to get himself a second-hand bicycle, one whose noise would announce much beforehand that he was coming.
எனக்கு ஒரு 11 வயசு இருக்கும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். We managed to move to the town itself. இந்த ஊர். And we managed to get a few goats to graze. My evenings had a purpose since then. நான் வீட்டுக்கு வருவேன், ட்ரெஸ்ஸை மாற்றிப்பேன், இந்த ஆடுகளெல்லாம் கூட்டிட்டு I take them to graze at the little hilly track outside of the village.
I love the sunset. I'd let the herd graze around in the nearby bushes and grass, and I'd sit under a tree, trying to work my homework if I had any. Around dusk, I'd gather the herd and take them back home. This went on for about a year. It was the happiest part of my growing up. And then I turned 12. I had the most beautiful birthday gift. One of the nanny goat gave birth to a kid.
I felt like Mary with her little lamb. I would carry it everywhere with me while the rest of the herd went grazing. I would sit with the lamb and watch how the wind played on the vegetation nearby, how the evening was still, how the birds were twittering and chirping before they settled for the dark, how a random bat got out of a tree and flew around anxiously before it was dark, how the dust swirls spiraled into little twister spouts, went and vanished into the thick nearby bushes.
I didn't think much of the twister then. Until one day. That was the day that was to leave an indelible mark on me. It has me puzzled to this day. I was 12.
It was the year 2012. It was another usual day, nothing amiss. The same scenario, the setting sun played out. It was time to gather the herd home. One particular billy goat had strayed slightly afar, so I went after it, called it by name. It took 10 minutes before I could get him back to the fold. Then I gathered my little bag of books, singing it across my shoulder from left to right, humming and coaxing the herd. Then I heard it. My lamb! I'd forgotten all this hubbub. I turned and followed a desperate cry for help. My heart was in my mouth. I tried to hurry.
And then I saw it was struggling to hold on to a thick clump of brush that was an outgrowth between two rocks at the edge of the hillock. How it managed to climb up there, I cannot imagine.
My eyes were welling up with tears, my little heart fluttering in panic.
I tried to keep my voice calm and called out to the lamb.
குட்டி அங்கேயே இரு, நான் வந்துட்டேன். பயப்படாத. அதோ வந்துட்டேன்.
I slowly skirted around to one side where there was a little way to get to the top. I slowly reached out, inching my way to the top and took hold of it. Almost fell, but took hold of it. A few scratches to my shin. I did not realize the other side of the hillock was a steep into a smaller mound of rock. And it led into a pathway where mud had given into a landslide and then a deep chasm.
It's pure chance that we avoided such a big calamity.
By the time I climbed down, it had gotten dark. Bats were flying around in abandon, squealing their sonar notes. Once or twice, I heard a few ravens settling down, and then the crickets. I could not see. The moon was not up. The sky was grey. Stars could not be seen. I was getting afraid. I'd never been this long away from my house. I'd always gotten back home on time. Suddenly, the bag on my shoulder weighed. The lamb weighed. My heart was in my mouth. I had to go.
Whatever came over me, I just decided to collapse. I just sat there, unmindful of where I was.
An owl hooted. A bat flew around. Mosquitoes swarmed around noisily.
The clap I made in the stillness further scared me.
My heart was running 100 meters faster than Bolt could have.
The clap resonated with the dark and silent hillside and disturbed further night creatures.
I started to cry. I was lost.
Ainarappa. Kaapathiru. Appriyadu kaapathiru. Ainarappa. My eyes adjusted to the relative darkness. I thought of my grandfather, him tiredly coming back from work, not finding me, and calling out my name desperately triggered waves of sniffles in me. I tried to hurry, but I stumbled and I fell. As I fell, the only thing I was conscious was to fall on the side so that the lamp did not get hurt. Luckily, I fell on the side, my bag hung and I was not hurt.
I lay down there for what seemed a few minutes. My ragged breathing slowed down. It was eerily quiet. But by then I was used to it. I just sat up, just trying to figure out how to get back home.
Then the rumble started in the distance. In that 1 second, I saw a storm cloud gathering in the distance, and a crack of lightning. The crack of lightning highlighted a single leafless branch with a big bat hanging on it.
And did I imagine an owl in the hollow too? Must have been my imagination. There were not that many trees in that area. I got up.
I started walking. I walked close to 10 minutes. If the rain was to be coming and as bad as it looked, the lambs and the herd knew how to take shelter. It's us humans who are confused in situations like these. Animals have better instincts. So I plodded on, with lamb no more away, but I merged into a part of me. Then one drop and another, and then a few more. I tried to hurry. The rain came surprisingly from behind and drenched my back. I saw a building, an old building with a gate. It was a house with an awning. இங்க ஒரு 4-3 திண்ணை. அங்கே I sat exhausted. I did not know the time. I could not care. Hugging my lamb, I eventually dozed off.
I woke up startled when a mosquito sang past my ear. For the first time, I could smell how badly the lamb smelled. Its tender heart was beating warmly, quickeningly. It huddled into me. Everything looked ghastly. The rain had stopped. To the far left corner of the awning, water was dripping and it made a strange chop chop noise as it fell into the puddle underneath.
I did not know the time. I thought of my Thatha.
Was he awake? Anxious for me? I decided to get up. I decided to brave the dark.
So, clutching my lab and my bag, I, a 12-year-old girl, stepped out of this run-down house. I did not stop to see what kind of a house or a bungalow it was. It was dark and a thin glow of light was felt. Probably the skies had cleared and the moon had come up.
Was it midnight? How long had I slept? Or close to morning?
I tried to search for the location of the moon. But I gave up because the thought of night was creeping the fear back into me. So I rushed on, entered the single main street of my town, and then quickly and quietly moved into the shadows of my lane.
Placing my finger to my lips, silenced myself. In fact, I was pretending the lamb was a human playmate. And I was asking it to keep quiet.
I went noiselessly through the kitchen door. It was more of a small thatched leaf gate than a door. And in a corner, I laid the lamp down and eventually dozed off.
Ponni? Ponni? Ponnima? Ponnima, எழுந்துருமா தாத்தாக்கு வேலைக்கு நேரமாச்சுல. பொன்னி? பொன்னி?
I woke up. It was bright. The sun was up.
Ponni? You not feeling well? Been sleeping so long? நீ இப்படி தூங்கினா பார்த்ததே இல்லையே.
I wondered, does he know? Or Teruma, was he awake?
You came home around 7:30 last night. சாப்பிட கூட இல்லை, நேரா போய் படுத்தது தான். Oh, you snuggled up to her for warmth, is it? Pokere payale.
Hey, Tata. I came home at 7:30 last night. Wasn't it raining heavily? Eppadi?
All that I do not know. It was raining. பேய் மழை, இடி, மின்னல், காத்து. தலைக்கு மேல பைய வச்சுக்கிட்டு நீ வீட்டுக்கு வந்த. Straight you went off to bed. I tried to wake you, to talk to you. You went off to sleep immediately. நானும் சரி டிஸ்டர்ப் பண்ண வேணான்னு விட்டுட்டேன். சரி, I made some சாம்பார். நேற்று ராத்திரி வச்ச சோறு இருக்கு, முட்டை அவிச்சு வச்சிருக்கேன். போய் குளிச்சுட்டு வா, சாப்பிடு. எங்கேயும் வெளில போயிடாதானே. இன்னைக்கு சனிக்கிழமை. I'll be back around 2. சரியா?
So many questions to be answered. The sun was up reasonably high. 9:30 morning. According to Thatha, I came home around 7:30 last night. Chance illa. I slept 14 hours? There's no way. Being young at heart and age, I let go, thinking Thatha must have been mistaken about time. அதுக்கப்புறமா I got up, went out and அதை பத்தி நான் மறந்துட்டேன்.
But the incident remained in me somewhere. Either grandfather's sense of time was mixed up or I tried to dismiss it. A year passed. Things changed. One day grandfather took me up எனக்கு ஒரு 13 வயசு இருக்கும் to கடலூர். For me it was not again. I had not remembered anything of my early past. He took me to a house filled with other children, many my age. I was to later learn that it was a children's home.
பொன்னி, நல்லா படிக்கணுமா? ஊர்ல அலைஞ்சி திரிஞ்சு படிச்சதெல்லாம் போதும். இனிமே நீ இங்கே தான் தங்கி படிக்க போற. ஐ கம் எவ்ரி வீக்கெண்ட் டு see you. சனிக்கிழமை ஆச்சுன்னா முதல் வேலையா நான் வந்து வீட்டுக்கு கூட்டிட்டு போறேன். மண்டே யூ வில் பி பேக்.
At first, it was difficult. More than the thought of leaving the town and coming here, it was the thought of leaving him.
பொன்னி, அழாதம்மா. இப்போ எதுக்கு அழற? ஆஃப்டர் ஆல் இட்ஸ் ஒன்லி 5 days a week. நீ திரும்பி பார்க்கறதுக்குள்ள சனிக்கிழமை வந்துடும். நான் உன்னை வீட்டுக்கு கூட்டிட்டு போறேன்.
Can't you also stay here?
பொன்னி, பொன்னி, அழக்கூடாதுமா. புரிஞ்சுக்கோ. Who will feed me here? Who will give me work here? நான் பக்கத்துல தான், கூப்பிடுற தூரத்துல தான் இருக்கேன். அழக்கூடாதுன்னு இந்தா குடி குடி.
And then he visited me for 6 months. And then I was just informed he had passed away. I did not eat, sleep for days. My Thatha, the only person I've ever had, known, who cared for me, my lamb, my town. Nothing remained. Years rolled by. So much had changed.
Here I am in the present. A familiar swirl of wind. It sweeps a bit of dust on my boot, creeping up to my calf. that distant familiar cry. Teetering in the crevice of the rock, on this hillock, a small lamb. Deja vu? Can't be. An IPS officer, youngest women officer from the state, prided by the state authorities, educated, rational. Am I to be beset with doubts? That was long ago. It was a rainy night. It can't be. Then again I felt that familiar swirl of dust. Am I imagining this? No, I was sure. And this time I could not brush it away. So, fascinated on a whim, I started following it. The twister swirl led me to a house with a awning. At the sound of the footsteps, a toad jumped away, a biggish garden lizard scurried, and I stopped short of stepping on it. Totally bizarre, creepy. The walls had creeper all over this house. Hesitantly, I stopped. I decided to go back. Yara? Yara? Who's that? Who's that? Hello? Who's there? நாளுக்கு மூணு தின்ன புகையில வாசனை பீடி நாத்தம். For a house that's so run down, there were no cobwebs on the doorstep. In a corner, there was an old man. If I was any younger, I would have been scared.
I'm tired. Finally, you came.
What? What, old man? Finally I came. What? Who are you and what was I expected?
அப்படியே You were waiting outside, hesitating to come in. Good, you finally came.
Huh? I don't understand. Whose house is it? It looks so creepy and run down. Amma, நீங்க இங்க என்ன பண்றீங்க? As I bent down to pick what hit me, I saw the old man getting up so energetically for his frail frame. The photo in his frame doesn't seem to be clear. Maybe I should just ask the old man. Thatha? Thatha? Did you read? The photo. She looks like me. thoughts fled to that night in the storm. I stayed on a small parapet over here. This parapet. This is strange, weird, and this needs to be investigated.
Hello? Hello? Segar, கேக்குதா? Hello? ஆமா. ஆமா. ஆமா, சேகர் நீங்க வண்டி எடுத்துட்டு கேட் பக்கம் வந்துருங்க. ஆமா, டுவர்ட்ஸ் வடபழனி சைடு. ஹலோ. பஸ் ஸ்டாண்ட் விட்டு வீட்டுக்கு போக மனசு வரலையா? இங்கே நிக்கிறீங்க?
ஷாம்பு கிடைக்கல, அதான் நிக்கிறேன்.
If you don't mind, நான் வேணா உங்களை drop பண்றேன். My car is here. My driver is also here. வண்டியில there is also some hot coffee in the flask.
மா கதவு தர.
இந்த மாதிரி ராத்திரில யாரா இருக்கும்?
ஆந்தாம்மா கதவு தரமா.
டேய், என்னடா இது? அத்த ராத்திரில கொற்ற மழையில திடுதிடுன்னு வந்து
மா நீ தானமா வர சொன்ன. அப்பா அன்வெல் அர்ஜென்ட் காம்பேட் வந்துச்சுன்னு.
What? ஃபோன் கூட பண்ண மாட்டியா?
மா நீ தானமா மெசேஜ் அனுப்பிச்ச.
Stop. Listen. Appa is fine. உள்ள குத்துக்கல்லாட்டம் he is sleeping. இந்நேரம் அந்த என்னது அந்த T20 பார்த்துட்டு கொஞ்ச நேரத்துக்கு முன்ன தான் he went to sleep. ஓகேவா? சரி நீ ஒன்று பண்ணு. Go take off your footwear and கையை காலை கழுவிடு. போ. அதுட்டம் அந்த ராத்திரி பேயாட்டம். அப்புறம் அந்த சானிடைசர் வச்சிருக்கேன். Don't forget to use it, okay? longer than this. I quickly wanted to introduce the actors. Dileep Rangan, Ashvi, Shrivatz, Anjali, Rama, Shubh, Thatha, and Madhu. We'd like to also thank KK for writing, directing and scripting, and also for the sounds. Gautam and team for the lights.
drive safe, go back home safely, enjoy your weekend, and don't forget to celebrate World Theatre Day tomorrow. Thank you guys for making it.